Falcons James Pearce Jr. potentially facing years in prison. NFL career is in doubt. Here's why.
My savage, Money man in the thing of a T ain't playing no games. Should I already know my name when I speak NCC flame. Got my YouTube poppin', man. Like, subscribing, everything in between. You already know. Money man. You already know my savage.
Ms. Jackson reportedly willing to testify against Falcons James Pearce Jr. in domestic violence case. The Falcons did release a statement. They said, "We are aware of an incident involving James Pearce Jr. in Miami. We are in the process of gathering more information and will not have any further comment on an open legal matter at this time." I know a lot of people saying the Falcons not going to release James Pearce, or he not going to do this, they ain't going to do that. But I think he's going to get released, cut, and then get suspended by the NFL for I don't know how many games. I guess it all depends on what's going on, with more information going to come out in court, or if they do go to trial. But I think this is an Arthur Blank decision, just like he did with Mike Vick back in the day. But at the same time, man, the optics of keeping him on the team right now is bad. But I know they not rushing to make a decision because they still gathering all the information. But that's not saying they not gonna cut him. But in my opinion, I think they do. But Kevin Stefanski and some of the coaches, they had spread a little insight on it, but they really didn't say much.
On the James Pearce situation, there's really nothing to add. I'll defer. Our coaches will defer to the statement that was put out. So respectfully, I understand their questions, but we don't have much to add there. On the James Pearce situation,
they not the ones that really got to deal with the whole situation. So I don't expect the coaches to say too much, just that they real disappointed because they sack leader, they edge rusher that will have all the potential in the world is gone. And you know what I'm saying? And potentially gonna have some jail time. Now, with Ms. Jackson willing to testify, what does it mean for James Pearce? What her testimony does gives prosecutors a live, first-hand witness. Direct testimony from the alleged victim is powerful because it puts events on record under oath, lets prosecutors explain intent, fear, injuries, threats, or patterns. Juries tend to weigh victims' testimony heavily if it's consistent and credible. This is especially important if there were no neutral eyewitnesses. Parts of the case rely on context, arguments, threats, prior contact. Now, with that being said, this might not be the first time he done laid hands on her. And then if she testify that it wasn't the first time, then I think that that makes it even worse because he done did it before, and now he just took it to a whole different level, even though the first time he shouldn't have did it, and that's bad. But having the record, doing what he was doing, trying to ram off the road and with the police and all that, that just amplified the whole situation even more on his side. Number two, it limits the chance the case gets dropped quietly. In many domestic cases, victims don't cooperate and charges sometimes weaken or get reduced. If she voluntarily testified, prosecutors are far more likely to move forward aggressively. The case becomes harder to dismiss or plea down early. Makes plea negotiations more serious. With a corroborative witness, prosecutors may offer fewer concessions. Any plea deal may still involve felony conviction, probation or jail time, mandatory counseling / no contact orders. Either way, it's looking bad for James Pearce, man, real bad. Now the next thing I gotta see is, or want to know is, what the Falcons gonna do if they release him, because this probably the reason why they haven't released him yet, because they trying to figure out what they can do to get some of this guaranteed money back. I know y'all talking about money, man. They thinking about money. Yeah, I mean, this a business, man. They got to think about their bottom line and the dollars they done spent and already gave James Pearce and how much they can get back if they got to cut him, which potentially I think is going to happen. So they can soften the loss from them, because they gave up a first-round pick to draft this guy. They can't get that back, so they got to get some back. Teams can recruit signing bonus or guarantees in limited situations. NFL contracts usually include things like signing bonus, base salary, roster bonus, other guarantees. Teams often try to recoup guaranteed money if a player violates the contract by conduct detrimental to the team or league. Some past examples show teams pursuing repayment of bonuses after major misconduct. Like I said, back in when Mike Vick got in trouble, Michael Vick, after his federal conviction, the Falcons successfully had an arbitrator rule he repaid nearly $20 million of his signing bonus. If you didn't know, Mike Vick at the time had just signed a $100 million contract, one of the biggest contracts for any quarterback in the league at the time. That shows teams can pursue repayment, but that kind of recovery usually comes through arbitration or a legal process, and only if the contract clearly allows it. So potentially the Falcons could get some money back, but we don't know the number, if at all, you know what I'm saying? But it was some character issues related to James Pearce before the draft. Now, if the Falcons knew about it or didn't do their due diligence about it, that's on Terry Fontenot, but that's probably one of the reasons why he's up out of here. Now, down here, the highlighted part, a boisterous young man, there have been conflicting reports about character/anger issues. He was arrested and his vehicle impounded during an incident in December 2003, where he was charged with speeding, driving on a suspended license, failure to present insurance, registration not properly displayed, and improper window tinting. The police report provides details of him being uncooperative and disobeying orders from the officer. His cases were later dismissed upon payment of costs after he provided proof that he successfully obtained a driver's license. There are also some backroom stories about his NIL deals. Now, with all that being said, man, if he been in this tight situation before with the police officers and he was not cooperating then he figured, I'm just guessing, not saying that this is what he thought, but just my opinion, I'm thinking that he figured he could get away with it. Now, I don't know James Pearce like that, the way he came up and what kind of star recruit he was, but I done seen it before where players, they've been the guy for so long, you know what I'm saying, getting all the attention and everybody love them no matter what they do, and they feel like they S don't stink. So he feel like he can walk and he above everybody and he can't get touched. You know what I'm saying? Until he actually do get touched, and then you locked up for doing something stupid. But you know, with that being said, I ain't saying that how James Pearce is, because I really don't know, but the whole situation is just horrible. You know what I'm saying? And now the Falcons got to determine what they're going to do. Then we're going to listen to this video from the radio station out there in Atlanta and see what they talking about. Then we're going to hear from John Abraham too.
If you are convicted of aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer in Florida, that's a mandated minimum 5-year prison sentence. So that's the one of all of them that I think, because I think it's the only one that might have mandatory attached to it. In the state of Florida, again, if he tried to clip or he did clip a police officer.
And that's the word.
Aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer, Florida law mandates a minimum 5-year prison sentence. He has not been, he's been charged, but obviously not convicted. So it's not certain yet what the fate of that charge will bring.
So
that's what I was telling y'all earlier, man. I like them. Even if the girl, Miss Jackson, dropped her side, he still got that battery against the officer and evading police and all that type stuff, man. But 5 years mandatory, that's tough, man. That's tough.
the Falcons can't speak on it legally. The coordinators, like we mentioned, are going to speak, including Jeff Ulbrich, this upcoming Wednesday. My thinking is, if you're Matt Ryan, if you're Ian Cunningham, if you're Kevin Stefanski, despite the fact that he had 10.5 sacks, I don't know if you have any skin in the game. You know, we talked about Michael Penix, not to this extent. They're not going to release Michael Penix, but are they going to say, this just isn't worth it? We hope that he gets an opportunity elsewhere. It just can't be here.
Well, I'm going to say something that I think none of us really wanted to say when it came to football. Mark the tape, Matt Lear. Because, again, this is an Arthur Blank decision. Everybody's trying to tell me it's your new GM's decision. It's Matt Ryan's decision. No, ultimately, this is Arthur Blank's decision. If you're getting into the conversation of, does he ever play for the Falcons again? Are they going to cut him, release him? Are they going to wait to the contract? This is nobody else's decision but Arthur Blank's. So, whereas I said, I don't want Arthur Blank making football decisions, this is an ownership decision.
But I think the one thing that Arthur Blank is always going to do is listen to the people that he works with, and will they try to convince him, or will they say, you know what, Arthur, whatever you want to do here, it's up to you. I'm just telling you that we didn't draft this guy.
Nick, They can go in on bended knee and say, please don't do this. Please don't do this. It's an Arthur Blank decision.
It does come down to him, as does every decision ultimately. But what I'm saying is they may agree with him. They may not fight this at all.
Yeah, I don't care what their stance is. They could be split 2-1. I don't. It could be 0-3-3-0. I'm making the statement that of all the this is an Arthur Blank decision. Whether he is going to be, what are people looking for? Cut, released, sooner instead of later? That's not a general manager's decision. That's Arthur Blank's decision. Will there be a conversation? Sure, there's going to be a conversation. But nobody else has the power of saying yay or nay on this one like Arthur Blank.
And time is on their side because they don't have to make any decisions because the season just ended and the OTAs don't start until April. But if you want to start thinking about what you want to do in the draft, albeit you have limited draft choices, this has to be a part of your thinking as well, what the end result's going to be with James Pearce Jr.
Let me also explain something. The NFL is not on your time. Call the NFL today and say, hey, listen, we're going to need a decision on James
We need
Pearce
a rush
Jr.
job.
Yeah. They don't care. They don't care. I would like to find out, and I have not done this, how long did it take before the suspensions came down for all of the others where there wasn't a conviction? There was just, sorry, we're the NFL. We are allowed to suspend you even without conviction. I don't know what he's going to get caught with, convicted of. I don't know what's going to be pled out. I have no idea. I'm telling you, though, that one in Florida, where if they say that you have aggravated assault against an officer, that's a minimum of a 5-year term. Of all the things that his attorneys have to do, plead it down, beg for forgiveness, go for help. I'll tell you what I believe. I'm not an attorney. If an attorney wants to tell me that this is the first thing you do, you put him in anger management before anybody tells you that he has to go see somebody.
So think about this.
I want to tell y'all one thing. He better go get Young Thug lawyer. I don't know who lawyers he got, but he might need to go get Young Thug lawyer. Get him off some RICO case, bro. Whoo! Woo!
He should be in the registration process if I'm an attorney, because we're going to have to stand before a judge again. And the first thing that I want to say is, Your Honor, my client has actually gone over here to get some help about this.
And why do we mention at least 6 games? When you look at the personal conduct policy, and there's been examples of this, even if the conduct does not result in a criminal conviction, discipline can still be a possibility. Darius Geis was a Washington running back in 21, wasn't convicted of anything. The alleged domestic violence incident involving his girlfriend, some disturbing ones, but wasn't ultimately convicted. He got 6 games. Ezekiel Elliott, 6 games. He was accused of abusing his girlfriend in 2017. We know that Deshaun Watson wasn't charged with a crime, got 11 games. We know that Justin Tucker, the kicker, same deal with the massage parlors, the incidents all alleged and nothing's been proven. He got 10 games last year. So this is not looking good for James Pearce Jr.
Here's the other thing.
With her willing to testify, I don't know, man. It don't look good. Especially the NFL going to suspend him regardless, but he might be going to jail. With her willing to testify, that means they ain't saying she can't drop the charges, but it don't seem like she will if she willing to testify.
Got to do is a quick Google. Has James Pearce Jr. ever been arrested before this weekend? The answer is yes in Tennessee. When he was playing for Tennessee, it was a traffic stop. He proved he had a license. He didn't get convicted. It was dropped. All of it was dropped. But he did get arrested. Everything now is going to be, if I'm the Florida people and I'm trying to determine, look, we're going to plea this out. Let's really find out what we're dealing with here. And if there's other stuff, whether it's at Tennessee, whether there were things with her, where there was paperwork in this state or that state, you need to stay away, and he didn't. Those are the things that might not be done or public immediately. I'll say this, $20,500 I thought was an extremely low, and I'm not dealing with anything that it just feels like a low number when all you have to do is put up 10%. This is not about trying to keep him in jail. You don't tell a guy who's got his contract $2,500 or else you got to stay here. Well, he's going to be out. It just feels like a very light number when we're dealing in 5 felony charges.
And December of 23, for those that don't know, in Knoxville, he gets stopped for driving 63 into 35, and the officers did arrest him for not following their instructions. Same thing happened yesterday, charged with speeding, driving on a suspended license, failure to present insurance, registration not properly displayed, and proper window tinting. And as you alluded to, Chris, they were dropped, the charges, all of them a week later, after Pearce paid his court fees and proved he had obtained a valid license. So you would think to yourself, okay, I dodged something here major. But apparently he learned nothing.
Wow.
Because once again, he acts crazy. And running your car into somebody 3 times, that's acting crazy.
Yeah, I don't.
And then once again,
that's why I say he felt like he got away with it and can't be touched. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know how he really feel, but driving a car like what he about to say is, that's crazy. That mean to tell me, like, bro, you got a problem.
and doesn't listen to officers.
Is it a deadly weapon, a car? I think when you're actually attempting to either take somebody out, take them off the road, or disable their car, I would think it is, because we all know that when cars hit cars, sometimes people end up really hurt. Everybody, thank God, lucky. Not another car, not somebody on a sidewalk. Nobody got hurt. That's all well and good. That thing in December or in 2023 in Tennessee, that's jaywalking compared to this. That's getting out of jaywalking. And part of it is when you get out of something like that, you know, you kind of go, okay, this is not immaturity. That's the only thing I won't let somebody do. I'm reading about, oh, he's just a kid and this is immaturity. That is so beyond my comprehension. And by the way, he reached my minimum bar for being a piece of blank, because I understand, and it's not that I have daughters, but I have daughters. If there is this idea of no means no, and this idea of you stay away from me, and if the courts or anybody had to get involved and you still do this, that's not immaturity. That's criminal. So let's cut that out in my world. Don't bring it up in front of me. You can put it on Twitter and you can keep me out of any argument that includes, well, you know, this is immaturity, because it's not.
And she's driving to the police station, and according to the reports, he intentionally collided into the rear of her vehicle with his SUV. As she got near the intersection, cut her off with his car, and when she attempted to back out and get away, once again, used his car to collide with hers head on. They are so fortunate, everybody involved here, that nobody's dead.
Yep.
Number one, I don't know how many people remember Danny Heatley driving a car that he clearly couldn't handle, and he lost control of the car, and it
He done for, bro. He done for.
killed one of his teammates. You're driving one of these Lamborghini SUVs. I'm assuming at the age of 22, you're not really that good of a driver. You're not really supposed to be handling a car like this. You're lucky you didn't kill yourself. You're lucky you didn't kill her or anybody else driving recklessly. And then you're lucky the police didn't kill you, because from what we understand, at least one of them drew a gun. So you're very lucky across the board. Now, will that luck pay off as far as your career is concerned? I don't know. I just am not so sure he's ever going to play here again.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but at not one time did you think about what you was actually doing. I don't care how mad you are. Something tell me like you wasn't thinking, bro. Like you throwing away everything. Just not your career, your family, your friends, everybody that believe in you, everybody that love you, you throwing them away at the same time just because you angry and mad at a female. Like, I don't get it, bro. Maybe I just don't understand. Maybe somebody mental healthly that deal with mental health got to tell me so I can understand a little better, because I don't understand it, how you could do that and not think of the consequences, not think of the people you hurt. Besides hurting her, but the other people, they gonna be affected, because this is gonna be a big snowball effect. So, cause her family hurt, your family hurt, she gonna have to deal with it the rest of her life, and you gonna be in jail. And then your family got to deal with you being in jail, and her family got to deal with the trauma you done put her through.
First of all, when I saw it, I ain't gonna lie, I felt bad. I felt bad personally, because I had an opportunity to talk to him. I think everybody around him, whether it's coaches, whether it's, you know, even GMs, everybody on the Falcons should feel bad, because you know this guy. And I'm not saying that you're at fault. That's what people think when you say you feel bad. I feel bad because I literally talked to the rookies, and I told them some of the stuff, and I said, maybe I didn't go deep enough. And that's just being an empathetic person. Like, I have a lot of empathy for him, because I was 22 at the time. It was egregious seeing what, you know, them cops had to do to get him down. But also, I would say, me personally, we got to start telling our kids, period blank, give them as less paperwork to write. Like, whenever a cop comes, you just go. I'd rather you get arrested and I know you're safe compared to trying to fight. Y'all watch these movies, y'all see these people on Instagram always trying to talk back to the cops doing this. The best thing I ever did with cops was like, yeah, just go and take me in. oh no, sir, we don't have to. I'm like, look, I'd rather you just go take me in. Even if I did something before, after, I'd rather just go to jail. We can handle all this work. Everybody want to fight. You're not going nowhere. Whenever I see our guys out there and I see they try to run, or I see them trying to explain themselves, even with the track runner girl, she trying to explain herself. Look, I was wrong. I'd rather just go to jail. And just keep it that way. And I wish that's one thing I would have told them in that meeting. So I feel bad. I wish I would have said, like, bro, whenever y'all get into an altercation, just give up. There's no point in giving them more paperwork, because the more paperwork you give them, the more angry they are at you. Like I said, if anybody crossing his path should feel a little something. And I ain't saying you got to be like, oh man, he a grown man. He's 22 years old, man. Think about when you was 22 years old, and we don't know what kind of life he lived. And think about, his mom just talked so well about him at the honors, and then this happening. We don't know what was going through his head. And look, I don't want anybody to think I'm not taking no sides. I feel so sorry for that girl, because she got to hear all this. And when B Rich hit me up about it, I was just like, man, it's a lot to unpack, man. And you don't want to go too deep, because we don't know. And the Falcons got decisions to make. The fans, y'all ain't got no decisions to make, man. This ain't really our problem. Yeah. Like we can sit here and say, oh, we ain't. And people just talking about pass rush, man. Look at the bigger picture. 100%. These people careers, like think about how that lady's feeling right now. She ain't woke up that morning thinking that, I'm gonna have to deal with this today.
Yeah, she don't want to be in the news.
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff to unpack. So y'all just give these people a little more grace.
There it is right there, man. I appreciate y'all for coming. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird Savages, man. We gonna keep up with it all year long with the Atlanta Falcons. Good news, bad news. Kevin Stefanski, Michael Penix. We gonna keep it right here locked in, and I appreciate y'all, man. We growing this channel fast, and I'm planning on doing a Bijan Robinson jersey giveaway after I hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you ain't subscribed, you need to go subscribe right now. And if you made it this far in the video, man, put W7 down there in the comments, man. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all some real true savages if you made it this far in the video, man. Yeah, what it is. And y'all already know what time it is. You better stop playing with me.
My savages. MONEYMANE in the thing of a T, ain't playing no games. Should already know my name when I speak NCC flame. Got my YouTube poppin', man. Like, subscribing, everything in between. You already know MONEYMANE. You already know.